Hello everybody, how is it going? And welcome to another episode of Amps in the XFX3. Today we are going to be checking out a really cool amp, and it's going to be the Slash Signature Marshall, which is a Marshall AFD 100 SCE. So the very amp that you heard in the opening Mr. Brownstone riff, that one is going to be mode 2. That's the Appetite for Destruction mode, which, okay, so for Guns N' Roses, there's a lot of lore that goes into the amps Slash used. So at the time, Slash got his advance for the album, and he blew it all on heroin, surprise, surprise, and he rented some amps from SIR, I always screw this up, SIR, which is a studio instrument rental company in LA, and a lot of people rented from it. And at the time, there was a number 37, there was a number 39 amp that was like all the rage at the time, and it was a modded Super Lead, a 1959 Super Lead, and everyone loved this amp. And that one was modded by Tim Caswell. Well, Tim ended up leaving SIR, and Frank Vogel got hired there, and Frank Vogel modded his first amp because he kind of wanted to get it to sound like number 39 because everyone rented that one, and he actually called this one number 36. So there was number 34, there was number 36, and there was number 39. So number 36 is what Slash got sent for Appetite for Destruction, and he absolutely loved that amp. He loved it so much he actually reported it stolen, so he kept it. But then when they were rehearsing at SIR, one of the roadies, as he called it, one of his idiot roadies, took it out, and SIR was like, oh, that's our amp, oh, so we'll take it back. So he ended up losing it, but Marshall was cool enough, and they actually built him his signature Slash head, and there's only 2,300 of them made, and the reason there was 2,300 of them made because it was the 23rd year that Appetite for Destruction was released. So let's actually take a dive and look at the amp. So there's two modes in it. There is a number 34 mode, and then there's Appetite for Destruction mode. So the Appetite for Destruction mode is based off of that number 36 amp that he used, and that was the one you heard in opening. So that number 36 amp, it's very, very bright. That Super League was like super bright, and what Cliff says is that he seems to think that they didn't make it as bright and as harsh because people would have been complaining that the amp would just squeal. It was so hissy. He said that like he assumed it would squeal, so that's why they turned the brightness down. Because Cliff also made a Brit Super, which we're gonna check out. Brit Super, that one's actually based off of that original Super Lead 1959 number 36 that Slash used. Cliff built that one, built off the information that he had about the amp at the time, and that one Brit Super came before the Slash models were actually in the XFX3. The number 34 mode, that's with the LED off. The Appetite for Destruction is with the LED on. And this mode, this amp's 100 watts, by the way, and it used some 6550 tubes. Brit 1 mode, the Brit AFS Appetite for Slash, that one's a number 34. So number 34 was another one of those amps that was modded, and I believe Slash used that one for like the leads on the album. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on all this lore when it comes to this, okay, guys, because I'm going off of everything that I've read. And Cliff actually has the Slash model, so he's, like he says, he spent a lot of time looking at it and measuring and listening. And everything that I'm getting, this comes from Yix Amp Guide. I'm going to put that in the description down below. And like I said before, the reason that I put the Brit Super in here is because it's technically modeled off of the Appetite for Destruction amp. But like I said, it came before the Slash amps are in here. So let's listen to, since we're talking about the Brit Super, let's listen to it. I like this amp, I really do, but it has this really cool clarity to it. Oh, by the way, wire-wise, I'm using ML Sound Labs Mars Hair Metal. It's actually based on the Marshall 255 1B. It has original G12T 75 speakers. This one's very weird. It has this really cool clarity to it, but it also has like a shit ton of gain, and it has like this very high-end snarl to it. I don't know if you hear it. And it's really cool. I actually put some more mids in it, and it actually sounded better. I did not push this thing hard at all because it has so much gain, and it didn't mess with anything in ideal and preamp, nothing in speakers and power amp. I didn't touch anything in there. I did scoop it a little bit. The mids on this amp are so weird. It's sensitive. So I scooped some of the mids out of it there. Let me let you hear what it sounds like with EQ on and off. As you can hear, there's like a wall of mids in this amp, but it is really cool, and it's technically is modeled off of Slash's amp, so that's why I wanted to throw it in here. Number 36, mode 2. Well, it's based off of number 36, the Appetite for Destruction mode. This is the one you heard in the opening. I really like this one. This mode is, it sounds really good. I think it's friggin' sweet. Okay, once again, pushed it a little hard, got a little gain in there. I'm not boosting any of these amps, by the way. They don't need any boost. I did not do anything in here. Of course, output. I didn't have to squeeze so much low end in this one, and I did scoop a little bit of mids out of there. Let you hear what this sounds like. I'm gonna do the 57 and 421, and then with the hair metal pack, you actually get a Guns N' Roses mix, because I'm pretty sure this is the same cab he used on that album. By the way, guys, proximity and smoothing are some of the best features in the Axe-Fx. I started to use this one as kind of like a low-end gauge on it, and smoothing matches the phase of like the speakers and the mic and the cabinet to the actual amp. But I find the smoothing sort of work like a, you know, some brightness button or some presence. I use this one sparingly, because if you push it really hard, it can get really bad. But for some reason, I didn't necessarily gel with the Guns N' Roses mix out of the pack. I find this one sounds pretty good just with the... With the 427, it sounds really good, and when you add the 57, money. I love them. I think they sound great. Most of the time, I normally just rock the 57, but I really like how this sounds with the 421. Let's roll to number 34. And number 34, I believe Slash used the leads for this particular one. Let me hear what it sounds like. Yeah, well, I just butchered that. Sorry about that. It sounds great. I find these amps get you in that realm of the Slash. By the way, I'm using an Ibanez RG570. I'm using, this has like the brightest Marshall pickup in the world, the XB2N. This is what just came in this guitar, and I never took it out. So if you're trying to go for a Slash sound, get you a dark guitar. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Les Paul, of course, that's what he plays, but like darker guitars with, you know, some mid to low output pickups, and you'll be golden. I pushed the input on this mode a lot. The master is up a little bit. I didn't touch anything in here. I did scoop some of the mids out, Marshalls have so much mids, and I really hate a lot of that mid noise, garbage that mids tend to create. I don't like to scoop my mids. I know I did it here, but like scooping my mids is not something that I instantly go for. I just try and get the noise of it out of the way. So this would be with EQ on and off. Yeah, I did scoop it a little bit, but like I said before, I'm not trying to do it on purpose. I mean, you even saw me. I even jacked a little more mids in the other mode. Actually sounds pretty good with it like that. I was using the same. Oh, I actually have both of these enabled. Yeah, because I left it on, dummy. These two IRs together, they sound pretty killer. I think this mode sounds really good with both of the mics enabled. Amps I should say, they're all really cool. I do really like the Brit Super, but I go back and forth with it. It sounds really good. And then I started playing on Appetite for Destruction mode, and I found it was really good. So guys, let me know, do you use these amps in your patches? Do you like them? Is there some cool tips and tricks that you use with these amps? Once again, if I got the lore wrong, definitely let me know in the comments down below. The lore is kind of crazy when it comes to this. I read a lot about it and I try to get it right, but let me know. Let me know. You use these amps you like, let me know in the comments down below. So you're gonna have to be out. Peace.